What's up, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka Review King MB, and I'm gonna add this to my 31 days of horror movie reviews. And I say add this because I do a rough estimate, a rough list on what movies I want to do for my 31 days each and every single year. And it wasn't until the trailer for The Witches, the remake, came out to when I realized, oh, there's a movie called The Witches from 1990. I'd never heard of it. I wasn't aware of it. I know some people grew up on it. So it was on Netflix. I decided to watch for the first time The Witches. Like I said, a 1990 film that was directed by Nicholas Roeg. I guess it's based off of the book with the same name. The plot is you meet this little kid Luke, who his parents are killed in a car accident, so he's staying with his grandmother now. And the two of them end up going to this hotel. They're on a trip to England, and at this hotel you see that they're, unbeknownst to the hotel of course, they're hosting a crew, a coven of witches. And these witches, especially the Grand High Witch, she has this devious plan to create a potion that will turn kids, and she wants to turn all kids, into mice. And it's an evil plot to not only turn them into mice, but it's just an easy way for her to really essentially kill all of these kids. So Luke, I guess I can give this all away because it is in the trailer. I saw the trailer after I saw the movie and saw that they do reveal that Luke gets caught spying on the witches. He gets turned into a mouse, and so him and his grandmother have to try to stop the witches. Now, what? Woohoo! I think it helped a lot that I went into this movie knowing nothing. All I knew was that it was a movie about witches, that it was a film where I saw how Angelica Houston looked as the witch, the practical effects of her true form, which I thought looked great, but that's the only thing really that I had seen and knew before going into this. And I think it helped because this plot, this premise, is so wacky, so kind of goofy, so over the top. I'm not saying that it will deter anyone away just from hearing it, but it could. It is that silly. It's obviously PG. It's obviously for kids, so you have to take that with a grain of salt. But I kind of appreciate seeing these horror, Halloween-related films that were for kids, because you don't really get too many of those nowadays. And let's start with the actors. Jason Fisher as Luke. I don't know. I've never really seen this kid before. I saw that he did a couple of other things as a kid. Not the greatest kid actor, honestly. And I know I've beaten up on kid actors before on how much they suck and whatnot. And it's very rare to get good kid actors. And because if they are that good, they'll grow up to be absolutely batshit crazy. But this kid actor, yeah, it just wasn't really doing it for me. His delivery, just nothing all that believable. It wasn't until he turned into a mouse where I thought his character was more believable. Probably because he pretty much became a voice actor at that point. It wasn't him having to give any emotional, believable faces or any delivery in person. It's him in a studio doing ADR and having to just read the lines and probably being better coached by whoever the voice directors are. So yeah, much better as the mouse, and seeing the practical mouse that's talking. Obviously there's a mouse that's just running around and doing whatever, but whenever he has to talk, you see this little tiny thing open its mouth and talk. It's just pretty impressive. A lot of the effects are impressive, which I will get to. Maya Zetterling plays the grandmother. I looked this actress up and I saw a lot of pictures of her in her younger days, her as a younger actress. Holy moly, she was very attractive back in her day. Clearly she's much older here. I thought she was fine. There are points where they kind of wrote her to be a little weak and feeble because like she's on the verge of diabetes, and that seemed like it was just an excuse to have her incapacitated for when everything that happens to Luke happens. I do like that she has some history with the witch, and maybe she was a witch hunter. They kind of allude to it. They don't fully get into it. I almost wish I could see that movie too. Angelica Houston as the Grand High Witch, she steals the show, of course. She's very boisterous. She's very in your face. She's very loud, but in the good way. She has a lot of energy, and you're convinced that she is the leader. She is the one who is facilitating everything, the plans, the schemes, how she constructs all of these other witches and what they do in their fake day-to-day lives and what they'll end up doing as far as this scheme of creating a candy shop, and they want to poison the kids, and it's sick, it's twisted. It kind of reminds me of when the Penguin wanted to drown all the firstborn sons of Gotham in Batman Returns. She wants to turn all of these kids into mice because then they'll get exterminated, and it's an easier way for her to kill all the kids in England. Also, some of the other actors, you have Rowan Atkinson as the hotel manager. Yes, Mr. Bean himself. Again, way before that, but still pretty amusing to see him involved with that. The practical effects, like when you see the witches take their mask off, they're wearing these fake masks that are supposed to make themselves look human. I thought that was great. Even the scenes of them starting to take the mask off, you see the crease at the beginning of their heads, their foreheads, and then when you see like Angelica Houston's witch form, it's creepy, it's disturbing. I know I'm an adult now, so I know I wasn't as scared as maybe if I was a child. If I was a child watching this would creep me out. This would give me the heebie-jeebies. And so I can understand that if you were a kid and you watched this, that this could have done some good scares for you. Also, the effects of the kids turning into mice. That was intense as hell. It was. Jim Henson did the effects, or at least his company did the effects, and man, even that one other kid, Bernard, I think, the fat kid who ate everything, even when he becomes a mice, he eats everything. Seeing him and Luke turn into the mice, and just how their ears and noses and it's practical. It looks more disturbing because it's practical, because it looks real, because you see it physically happen, and it's crazy. The ending of this movie too, or at least the third act, is so insane. It's so crazy. I'm not going to give it away in case you haven't seen it, but I couldn't even begin to describe what I saw in this third act and the craziness that ensued. I will say that the very ending of the movie felt a little rushed. It just felt like, well, we have to just give this a happy ending. We have to nip this in a bow. We have to do something that just makes all the kids happy, because if you don't do that, it might be a little too depressing. It might be a little too sad. Either way, though, I found the movie pretty enjoyable. I was never bored. I was amazed to see some of the stuff that they ended up doing with the mice and the potions and the witches and just everything that goes into that. Let me know in the comments below if you too grew up on the witches. I didn't grow up on it, but I'd be interested to see, like, what year did you see this? How young were you when you first saw this? Did this scare you as a child, as I would imagine it does? Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later!
These silent screams became a part of me. I'm moving past that. Please won't you free my soul? Can't hardly breathe in this society. I'm just a madman. Leave misery at home. Leave misery at home. Let's go. Yeah. Everybody.